vacation movie that just came out this Wednesday is directed by John Francis Daley and stars Ed Helms, Christina Applegate, Skylar Gizzonto, and Steele Stebbins, which takes place many years after the last vacation movie in the Vacation franchise, which focuses on Rusty Griswold, who has finally become a dad and is married to Christina Applegate and has 2 kids, and decides just, to make his family happier on their next vacation to take them to Wally World. Just like the first vacation movie. And sure enough, some crazy stuff happens on the way there, and it's pretty funny for the most part, but, has its flaws. So yeah, I heard about this movie, and I was really interested because I was really wanting to see another vacation movie. I had watched the original vacation movies a couple years back, even before I knew there was a new vacation movie coming out. And knowing that I had Ed Helms, one of the stars from The Hangover, which is my favorite comedy of all time, I was pretty excited for the most part. Ed Helms does an amazing job in this film as Rusty Griswold. He is somewhat of a mirror image of his father from the first vacation film, who was played by Chevy Chase, who actually makes an appearance in this film, which I enjoyed immensely. And it was just so cool seeing that same humor back in this film. You could really tell that they were trying to make not an exact replica of the same film, but they wanted to bring the same humor that was present in the first film into this movie, and I really enjoyed that. Christina Applegate as Ed Helms' wife in the movie was pretty enjoyable for the most part, especially in one scene, without getting into too much spoilers, where they visit her old college to visit her old sorority, and that scene was just so hilarious. And if you guys saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, that part was pretty enjoyable in the movie. The 2 kids in the movie were actually pretty enjoyable too. What was really different about this movie is that the kids in the original vacation movie didn't really have much to offer. The only parts where they were actually really funny was when the certain adults were interacting with them in the movie. And, that's kind of where the comedy came from in the first movie. But these kids are actually somewhat funny in this film, and they have character, especially the older brother. However, the younger brother in this movie, even though he had comedy to offer, there were just so many times in this film where I had to ask myself, how many times can I laugh at a little boy just saying the F word over and over and over again? I mean, yes, it was very enjoyable at first, but then it was like, okay, can you give me something else? But his performance was good for the most part, and I'd probably see him in another movie. And it was just really fun, kind of like seeing this family on the road. It was a lot like the original vacation movie, and, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that nostalgia. However, there were some faults in this movie, and, it's really hard to kind of judge this as a comedy because it's, a comedy. I don't think it's really meant to be taken seriously, but as a movie, I just thought that there were so many things wrong with this movie, especially the characters that they met on the road. I felt as though each side character that they met, a lot of the characters in this movie are just really unlikable people. Without getting into too much spoilers, just for one little example, there's a scene in the movie where, they're sitting down at the dinner table, and they're having their friends, they're having their neighbors over, and one of the neighbors is like, I can't believe you didn't like my pictures on Instagram. That's not really funny. That's just you being mean to someone and being really rude. I was like, okay, alright, that's not that bad. And it just gets worse when they go on vacation and they meet all these, really unlikable characters. Like Chris Hemsworth, for example. I really enjoyed seeing Chris Hemsworth in a comedy film. However, he was a total douchebag, and I don't know, I just didn't really like his character that much. He didn't really have much to offer, and yes, there was that one scene that you saw in the trailer where, his, penis was almost hanging out, but that's about it too. Besides that funny scene, he's kind of, a douche in this movie. That's another thing too. The vacation movies are really known for their crude humor, and I saw that they really wanted to bring that back into this new film. However, just because you show a penis on the screen, just out of random, doesn't make a movie really funny. There has to be some kind of reasoning as to why the penis is on the screen, and, why it's funny, There were just so many images in this movie, not even just penises, there's, for example, a car exploding out of nowhere. It has to make sense. Just because something random happens on the screen, it has to follow with the story, and it has to make sense in a comedic way. Going back to the unlikable characters of this film, even Charlie Day was, pretty much an unlikable character. I love Charlie Day, and I was liking him a little bit in this film. It's weird kind of judging someone just by one cameo, but I mean, he was okay for the beginning, and then later on in the film, for no apparent reason, he tries to kill the family. Like, without going into too much spoilers, like, that's what happens. There are just so many unlikable characters that I didn't understand, like, why there were so many unlikable characters in this film. All you had to do was just make a comedy. Overall, though, I had a really good time with this film. It was pretty funny, and, you know, it was better. It was funnier than Pixels. I mean, I caught myself laughing a lot in the film. I really did. But, you know, I think the film was just kind of confused as to what it was trying to be. Was it trying to be a sequel to the original Vacation? Was it trying to make fun of the original Vacation? Was it trying to be a parody of the original Vacation? I'm not entirely sure what this film was trying to be, but I don't know, without kind of judging a little bit, it made me laugh. So if you guys are looking for a comedy this week, you should definitely go check out Vacation if you're looking for a good laugh. Yeah. Alright guys, thank you so much for checking out my review of Vacation. Comment down below what you thought of this movie if you saw it, like the video, share it, and please subscribe to Pixel Talk if you haven't yet. Thank you guys so much. I am Corbin Stuckey, and this is Pixel Talk.